His Radio and Colton Dixon spending time with us this morning. Check it out on His Radio TV, by the way, hisradio.com, the My His Radio app, Apple TV, and Roku. Colton, dude, so good to see you. It's been a minute.
Man. It's been a hot second.
It has, hasn't it? To familiarize yourself, you already made the connection. That's Colton Dixon, American Idol, eons ago. How long ago was that now?
10 years, a decade.
It was really a decade ago.
A decade,
Does it feel like a decade ago or just a minute?
Some days it feels like a decade. Some days it feels like yesterday. Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah. Every once in a while I'll wake up and I'll have to stretch an extra long time. It's like, it was a decade ago.
Back on American Idol.
That's right.
Now, and we saw the evolution of the hair, which, by the way, Liz is like obsessed with your hair.
I don't know why. Like, I so was like going to ask about product. I was going to ask.
I'm so sorry to disappoint. I'm rocking a hat this morning. 7 a.m.
Yes. I understand, like, it all started when you were just young. I mean, I saw a picture of you. You had some kind of patriotic thing on.
Yeah.
And I think the hair started then. Take a look behind you.
Yeah.
I mean,
look at that, man.
Yeah.
There was another one. I can't believe I'm sharing this right now. I don't know why my mother bought me this, but it was an American flag Speedo that I wore, and I was like,
me? How old?
I wasn't much younger than this.
Yeah.
I was of course, I didn't know any better. Just thought I was hot stuff strutting around,
Yeah. And we're talking, 4?
4 years old.
4 years old.
Yeah, rocking a Speedo.
That is so wild.
Speedo, yeah.
So it looked
there
like
have been no Speedos since, in case you're wondering.
Yeah, thank you very much. I don't need that imagery in my brain this early in the morning.
Good morning
please.
to you.
All right. So we're watching the whole evolution of your hair throughout the years of you growing up. So, I mean, we see the spike when you're like a toddler.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Was it naturally like that, or did your mom and dad like put something in the hair to?
Man, I feel like hair was always something that they just kind of went for. I had a mullet growing up. Cowlicks were a big thing, so that's probably the spike that you're thinking of.
Yeah.
It's just cowlicks.
Right. There's one in particular. It reminds you of something.
Oh, it does.
Cockatoo?
No, claymation. You know what claymation is?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So it reminds me of one of the characters from claymation, but this.
Oh boy.
Christmas, I'm this person.
100%.
Can you see it? Take a look. Can you see?
Absolutely. Yep, that's amazing. If it was red,
I think you should go red at some point.
That would be fun.
At Christmas time.
That would be hilarious.
And then sing that song.
Yeah, I took a selfie at one point, and I had your hair.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, it looks great.
You gotta see it.
It looks great.
Yes.
Don't you think Rob would look really good?
I think you could rock it, man.
I need to peroxide my hair to get it there. It's quite amazing.
That is awesome.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
I love the relationship that you have with your dad.
Oh, thanks, man. Me too.
Yeah. What is it like?
Man, we grew up really tight, but my dad is someone who'll drop everything. If I'm like, hey, like I've got to take the trailer over to our rehearsal hall today and kind of go through our gear. What are you doing today? And he's like, nothing too important. I'll come. I'll meet you. And man, one of the best days I've had with my dad was us at a rehearsal space in Franklin, Tennessee. For the day. We were going over the drum kit and going over all this stuff and getting everything to shine and polish again, making sure cables were wrapped, and we went out for pizza afterwards. Just had an awesome day.
What kind of a granddad is he?
Oh, man, he's amazing. Both he and my mom would probably argue they don't see the kids enough. I don't know if it would ever be enough, so get ready.
Yeah, I got it.
But man, they're so sweet. It's the first grandbabies,
like a toddler.
So they are
right.
Not
yeah.
was it now?
Oh, so spoiled.
Yeah, if you don't know, Colton Dixon
we don't go
has
spoiled, we go blessed. They're very blessed and
has
highly favored.
Twins, right?
Twins, 2 girls, identical. Their names are Athens and Dior, and they were the first grandbabies between my sister and I. So they are very blessed.
That is so great.
Very loved. Yeah, man.
So how much of your dad is in you as you're raising your 2 daughters now?
Oh, man. Well, I had great examples as parents to begin with. So I had just great examples to learn from and to glean from. So there are a lot of things that I do that I'm like, oh my gosh, I totally see my dad in this. My wife will point that out too. They're like, oh my gosh, you're Mike right now.
What's one of those things that you remember your dad doing when you were growing up that you want to emulate as a father?
Oh man, he always made time. Time is the most important thing, and even as we had our own kids, so many people, they're like, man, like, you can make more money, you can't make more time. And it's so true. I've realized even with what I do in my career, it requires me to be gone quite a bit, obviously. But every time I say yes to something like this, I got to know that I'm saying no to something else, right? Which is kind of a tough pill to swallow sometimes. I'm so thankful that my wife believes in what I do just as much, if not more, than I do. But man, as soon as that calling is no longer here, love y'all, but I'm peacing out. I'm going to be with my family. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, time is something that he always made a priority for us.
I have to know, did your dad know, or did you keep it a secret that you were Batman?
We're not supposed to talk about that, Rob.
Yeah. I mean, seriously.
That's after hours.
You know, it's so funny. My dad worked at the post office, and he would always come home with cardboard boxes, and he built a bat cave out of these huge cardboard boxes when I was young, and that was it. From then on out, I was Batman. So
yeah. I mean, so much so, you dress as Batman.
Occasionally, from time to time.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, I've seen it.
That sounds really weird.
The pictures are weird.
Oh, yeah. Is it
real,
behind
man.
me? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, it's a little sad. I was not influenced on this decision. My wife makes sure I say that. I sold the suit. I still have the mask. I sold the suit. I did. Actually got a lot of money for the suit.
Well, then I see you got twins.
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
it's something called adulting, you know.
Yeah.
I knew it was coming eventually.
You got to do it.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
Spending time with Colton Dixon this morning, which I learned something about Colton. I had no idea. I mean, Colton likes to eat, right?
Who doesn't like to eat?
Right?
You got to eat to survive. You got to eat just to love to eat.
That's right.
Crawfish is a part of your diet, evidently.
Oh, man. It is around certain types of people.
Yeah.
And I learned that KB loves crawfish. And so I got to indulge into some crawfish on Winter Jam earlier this year.
Where'd you
For
go
real.
to have the best crawfish?
We didn't leave the venue. The crawfish came to us.
Get out.
It was so bougie. It actually wasn't. It was just newspapers and corn on the cob and crawfish and all this stuff.
You just lay it all out.
Yeah, mud bugs can't be bougie.
That's
can
right.
They? Okay.
I mean, it was as bougie as you could get.
Okay.
You know, we set up a table right outside tour buses, you know, at this arena, you know,
that's the
and
way
we're
to
eating
do it.
crawfish, and it was so good.
That is so crazy cool.
Yeah. I've thanked him 1,000 times. But
I'm
KB,
sure
if
when
you're
you're
listening,
like a toddler.
thanks, bro. I appreciate it.
That is so wild. I'm so glad that crawfish made it onto the ark.
Oh man,
Right,
me
2
too,
by
right?
2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would have been, the world just wouldn't have been quite as good, I don't think, without crawfish.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you didn't know, Colton is the one who does build a boat, right?
Hey.
So I need a little help. Can you just take these for me?
Okay.
If you would. Tell me what this is. What I just hand you.
Hey, this is like what do they call it? It's cement for wood models, so it's like
Yeah,
oh man.
Hold on. I'm going to give you this.
Okay.
That's an instruction book.
It's crafting time with
Yeah.
Rob and Liz in the
Come
morning.
on.
Yeah, so hold on. We got a boat for you to build.
Holy cow. This is
So
We're gonna build a boat.
how much time do we have?
a bit. So we're gonna watch the progress
Oh man.
of Colton Dixon
This is fantastic.
building a boat on Instagram. So check out our Instagram and Facebook stories.
Come on, this is so good.
And Colton's gonna. So go ahead, crack it open,
Yeah,
start.
go.
yeah,
All
come
right.
on.
There
There's
we
like
go.
Let's do it.
150 pieces, maybe something like
Yeah.
that.
Oh
Okay.
man.
So we need scissors.
There's a lot of pieces, so you're gonna be
There
here for a
is
while.
No kidding.
And there's like little people in there, which is super
Yeah.
fun.
Okay.
Wow.
So
I hope
Awesome.
you can
Okay.
read
Okay.
no
directions.
delay. Get started.
Here we go. All right.
Colton Dixon.
Check back in with me later.
He's going to build a boat.
4
We'll see how the
o'clock this
progress is
afternoon.
coming along next and on Instagram and Facebook stories.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
Literally, because in honor of his song, Build a Boat, we handed Colton Dixon a boat to build. So we've been checking in on Instagram on the stories to see the progress.
He's doing really well.
How many pieces is this thing?
190?
I have zero idea, but it's a lot.
It's a lot of pieces,
It is
yeah.
a lot
I
of
mean, it's a model boat.
I've technically built a boat already.
Yeah. Oh, that's the lifeboat.
It's the lifeboat.
That is great.
Yeah, we're getting there. One lifeboat at a time.
You are. Man, how this song is connecting with people build a boat.
Man, I'm so glad that people are resonating with this message. I think Hollywood gets this story wrong so many times, that there's this big back and forth between God and Noah, this argument, if you will. But the Bible says that God asked Noah to build an ark, and Noah was obedient. Period. Right? There was that struggle just didn't happen. And I thought, man, I want to be known as someone who, when God asks me to do something really big, my response is yes. Faith looks crazy sometimes, but I think that there's a reward waiting on the other side of that crazy faith, right? I don't think God's just going to ask you to do something just because he feels like it. I think he's trying to get something to you, right? So when we come with faith, when we step out of the boat, when we build a boat in the middle of the desert because God promised rain, I think God's finally like, yes, this is the plan that I have for you. It's awesome. Let's get this miracle to you, right?
I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, so I'm so glad people are jumping on board, no pun intended, with this message.
All right.
But it's like the struggle in the process.
Sure.
Because I know there were struggles with his family and talking that out, and people, in the community.
Couldn't imagine some of the looks and the the
talk,
the words that people said. Yeah, I'm sure it was difficult, but the fact that the Bible didn't acknowledge any of that, really. Just said he was obedient. How, if it was me in Noah's shoes and God asked Colton to build an ark, I doubt that the next sentence would have solely been Colton was obedient. You know what I'm saying?
Little pushback in
probably
between.
would have been a few more lines there.
Sure.
But it challenged me. I'm like, you know what? I think, especially in the season that we're in right now, maybe people are in a dry place. I know I was coming out of 2020. It's like, man, what are the promises of God, and what do I need to be doing to come with faith in order to see those promises come to fruition?
How beautiful.
Yeah. And so get back to building your boat.
Okay, will
Because
do.
he is literally
Check back
building
in.
a boat this morning on his radio. Check out the progress. We'll have it on Instagram and on Facebook. Colton, it's been a joy, man.
Man, absolute joy.
you.
Thanks.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
Listen, we've had such hot days during the summer, right?
Oh, yeah.
I'm thinking one of the best ways that you can cool yourself off is having a Whopper.
Do what now?
A Whopper.
Okay.
Seriously.
Okay.
There is such a thing. I kid you not. It's called the Ice Whopper.
This thing is crazy.
BK. Ice Whopper. BK. And everything's still a Whopper. All the ingredients are still a Whopper, except for one thing. There is a layer of shaved ice between the onions and the pickles to help you cool off.
Why
That's
would
the
you
Ice
want
Whopper.
that? Why would you want that?
Well, listen. In America, you have to do it yourself. In Japan, they have this available at the BKs.
Do they charge extra for the shaved ice?
I have the foggiest idea. I do not know. I think it just helps.
But as hot as it is, I would not want shaved ice. And I love ice. I love crunch ice. I crunch ice all the time. I don't want it on hamburger. That sounds weird.
Spike when you're like a toddler.
Don't knock it.
Right?
Until I try it?
Exactly. And then you might be a fan.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
Dan made a certain discovery with his grandmother who's 97 years old just a couple of Christmas ago. It's Rob and Liz in the morning, his radio. So here's what was going on. It's Christmas. He noticed his grandmother couldn't really hear that well. He's like, I wish that we could have a conversation where she's not going, what? And you gotta yell, Grandma, I said. So he noticed she was watching TV and all the subtitles, and she was enjoying the programs on TV. He's like, if I can only make glasses like that. So he came up with glasses that would bring subtitles in front of Grandma, and she could have a conversation. And so he's developed this company, and there's like 100 beta testers right now that have glasses just like Grandma, only they're probably a lot prettier now, since he's had some time to work on them with the company.
I know, because they were a little bulky at first.
Yeah, so they're almost like virtual reality kind of goggles, what Grandma had on.
Yeah.
Hopefully she didn't fall over because those things are heavy.
I know. They kind of like, what do they call them? Blue blockers or whatever?
Oh, remember those
yeah.
things,
And so
right?
it kind of looks like that, but
its guts
what
are
it does
everywhere.
is if, you're having a conversation near that person that's hearing impaired, it's going to grab that audio and it's going to display it up on the glasses.
Subtitles for you. Yeah.
I think that's ingenious. Why did we not think about this
If they can
before?
get it right, because I don't know, talk to text. When I say some things, it interprets me wrong sometimes.
True that.
Liz will get text from me, and primarily I do a talk to text because it's a lot faster for me than my thumbs are slow.
Sure. I think most people
Right?
do of voice to text.
But interesting things come out of my mouth to talk to text.
So sometimes I have to sit back and go, okay, what is he actually trying to say? Because I don't think that's it.
Yeah, like pullover shirt will be Apollo. I'm like, what?
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
I don't know if you're already planning, and maybe you should be. I don't know. Maybe my family should think about this too, but summer vacation for next year.
Oh, yeah.
It seems like things book up really quick now.
Yeah.
If you're looking for campgrounds, if you're looking for things to do, there is a cruise that might be interesting to some people.
Okay.
It's from Minneapolis to Pittsburgh. A cruise, seriously. It's a riverboat cruise.
Oh, okay. I
So
wasn't
go.
even
I
going
know.
there.
I thought Minneapolis to Pittsburgh. Hello, this is not the ocean, but it's a riverboat cruise. So it's the Ohio River and the Mississippi River. So they connect up. And so they're able to go from Minneapolis down the Ohio River, catch up to the upper Mississippi River, and go to Pittsburgh. And evidently they've been doing this for quite some time, but now they're saying next year is going to have a lot more protocols and stuff like that.
I've never heard of a cruise like that. I mean, an afternoon cruise.
Yeah.
Sure. So how long does it take?
23 days.
20.
Yeah.
Oh, to have an extended vacation like that.
That does sound
guts are
pretty cool.
everywhere.
So you'd think, okay, this is perfect for teachers, but not really because it kicks off on July 24th. It comes back August 14th. So for, schools that start like at the beginning of August.
Yeah, around
or
the
middle-
Carolinas and Georgia. That's where we go back.
But it sounds like a neat trip to take, even if it's just a little bit of it or half of it. I don't know if you can only take half the cruise, but still.
Oh, you might be able to just jump off at one of the ports of call. But wow, 23 days to have that kind of time.
And a lot of stops and tours and stuff like that along the way, they
I
say.
would say, and to see the country that way. I've thought about
Yeah.
driving across country, which I don't think I could ever do. I just would get super bored, I think. But taking a riverboat cruise, okay.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
Here is Maxine, and Maxine's on a stroll at the beach. She lives at the beach, and so this is like a normal thing for her. And she saw this trash on the ground. She's like, I'm going to pick it up. It looks like a cigar band. Why would somebody do that? And when she picked it up, it turned out to be a ring, a really nice one. On the inside, there was a year and a name, and the year is 1919.
Like, has it been there since then?
It's old, and the name on it was Herman H. Hahn. And so she's like, okay, I'm going to find this person or whoever this ring probably belongs to now. And so she went to Facebook and then Instagram and then Ancestry.com and LinkedIn. Finally, after all that, they found it belonged to a guy named Wade. And that was his wedding ring from his grandpa.
Isn't that crazy? It was
Yeah.
passed down from Grandpa, and then this guy gets it. He also puts an inscription inside of it to mark, his wife and I think a date and this kind of thing, because I think they got married in 2020. And so those little inscriptions were instrumental in
its guts are
helping
everywhere.
Maxine find who the ring belonged to.
Wasn't that great?
It's wild.
Yeah.
How social media, I think a lot of us put social media down quite a bit, but this is the best part of it. Reconnecting with people and finding things.
Well,
like
it took
this.
work.
Oh,
Because
well,
I learned this was all in Edisto Beach. And so it took a lot of work because Facebook wasn't really hitting it well. Instagram wasn't really hitting it well. Ancestry.com unlocked a couple of things. And then she had to go to LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So it was all this work all over the place. So it just wasn't one post. It was like she had to work to find this.
And she is tenacious. I mean,
Right?
she just kept plugging along. She was determined she was going to find its rightful owner, and she did.
And Wade has his ring back. And he's
Love
like,
it.
he's so, so grateful.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
Liz is kind of obsessed. And she's obsessed over one thing. Royalty in England. Oh, it's crazy. And now, just so she can get it out of her system, She has some news about the Queen.
The Queen has someone that breaks her shoes in for her. She breaks her shoes
Wait a
in.
minute. So someone
for the
wears
Queen.
her shoes before the Queen wears her shoes?
Yes. So I get it. Like, you get a new pair of kicks, and I mean, you will have a blister if you're not careful, and they're tight and they hurt. And the Queen doesn't need that.
Somebody new.
So she has someone. Her name's Angela Kelly.
Please.
She's actually worked for the Queen for about 3 decades. She does a lot of different things.
It's got wings.
But the one thing that she does for the Queen all the time is she breaks in her shoes. They have the same shoe size, which you are not going to believe. Because I would have loved to have had this job,
Yeah.
but my dogs won't fit in those shoes.
Your dog, Liz's feet are big? I had no idea.
So the Queen wears a size 5.
Okay.
Size 5, that's like a child size to me.
It is?
And I am more in the Ronald McDonald section of
What?
the shoe store.
What are you, a 12?
9.5.
9.5.
9.5.
Okay, I don't know if that's big or not.
I mean, it's a little bigger than average,
Okay.
but comparatively,
You have places to go.
it's like wearing flippers next to the Queen. But she has someone to break in her shoes.
So how does she do this? Does she like walk through the streets of England? Does she go to the grocery stores
know
in
what?
these things?
She probably just Buckingham Palace is huge, and so she probably just puts on these shoes and walks around.
There must be some restrictions, like don't bring these shoes into the restroom.
Probably.
You know?
And wear socks.
They're
'cause-
royalty. Oh, yeah, right?
Yeah, I don't want your sweaty dogs in my shoes.
Yeah, or else the Queen needs royal odor eaters.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
I never heard of this. Evidently, Liz says it's a thing. I've never heard of this term called splooting. Listen close. I said splooting. I don't know. It's Rob and Liz, his radio.
It's how squirrels cool down. Evidently, New York City is putting this message out on their social media to watch out for squirrels. They're okay. Because I guess people are calling it, a squirrel is having a heart attack or something. Like they're worried about the squirrels. So what the squirrels are doing is they lay down on their bellies and they stretch their feet out as far as they can in the back and then stretch their armies out in the front and they just lie there. Have you ever seen your dog do
My
that,
dog,
Rob?
my dogs do that all the time.
It's splooting.
That's what a splooting is?
Yes, but I guess squirrels are just doing it a lot because it's been so hot. And in New York City, not a lot of air because there's so many buildings, not a lot of air gets through, and so they're having a hard time
Really?
in Central Park.
Wow. Because my dogs sploot in the backyard all the time.
Yeah, my dog sploots in the house over the
Yeah.
air vent.
Yeah, wow. That's a place to sploot.
I know.
Over the air vent.
So the next time you're hot, just put your little leggies out to the back, your little armies
Yeah.
out to the front, and you're splooting.
I've splooted in the bathroom, and I've splooted in the bedroom. A lot.
I gotta go.
What? You do? You got to go sploot?
No, I don't have to go sploot.